So the function f is defined by fx 2 minus root x plus 5 for minus 5 less than or equal to x or less than x. So when you see this, right, it means that the function can only go from negative 5, in fact less than 0. So what is the range of f? So range of f, you have to look for values, okay, that is between the lowest and the highest. So you can check, okay, when x is equal to negative 5, what is your range? What is your fx? F minus 5, that would be 2, negative 5 plus 5, okay, 2 minus 0, which is 2. Okay, we are not done yet. So it says that x is equal to 0. So do it for when x is equal to 0. What is your y or f? So 2 minus 0 plus 5, you will get 2 minus sub 5. So 2 minus sub 5 is like negative 0.236. So technically this is smaller compared to this. So how should you write your range? Okay, you should write that, oh, this is the lowest, okay, and this should be the highest. Okay, when you write the range of f, so recall that the range is in the boundary between the lowest and the highest. So we write down the lowest first, and remember x shouldn't be equal to 0 because here x is less than 0. Okay, so we just put this symbol, and since we are talking about the range of f, okay, and note that when x is equal to 5, the y or the f value should be 2, and since it can be or equal to 5, so you can basically add an equal sign. Okay. So you need to write this in order to get full mark for these questions. So the other popular question is they will ask you to find inverse. Okay, find the inverse of a certain functions as well as the domain and range. So the total mark worth would be 4. So how can we find the inverse of the functions? First, f of x is equivalent to 2 minus x plus f. So you can basically just let fx to be any alphabet. So to make it simple, let's just put a y, capital Y, and then make our x as a capital X plus 5. Then here we make x as the subject. So this one requires a bit of, okay, let's just make 2 minus x plus 5 y. Okay, so move the 2 over to the other side, x plus 5 y minus 2. Move the negative sign to the right hand side. It will become x plus 5 minus y plus 2. Remember, you can also move the whole square root. Okay, hold on, let me just move this up. Move the whole square root to the other side, it becomes minus y plus 2 square. Okay, and last but not least, move the plus 5 over to the other side, it becomes negative. So x, remember, this is the very common mistake made by students. They just leave it like this, but in truth you have to switch it back from x to f inverse. Okay, change this one to f inverse x and negative y to minus x plus 2 square minus 5. This should be your final answer. So to find the domain and range of the function of the inverse, please, you need to remember the basic rule. Okay, so the domain of the function of x should always be the range of its inverse. Okay, the range of f of x should be the domain. So given initially that we have negative 5, okay, less than x and less than 0, this is the domain of f. So when you switch it to inverse, the domain should be the range, right? So how do we write the range? The range of our inverse, okay, should be negative 5 less than or equal to f and less than 0. Okay, this should be the range. And as for domain, domain would be the range of f. So the domain of f inverse should be this one, 2 minus 5, okay, less than, and when we talk about domain, is x, set of x, which is less than or equal to 2. So this is how you can get 4 marks for these questions. So fgx, okay, you know that fgx is equal to 0. So this f of gx is a composite function, meaning you will be putting gx inside the function of f. So given that our gx is equal to 4 over x, okay, so just put this 4 over x inside dx. So that would be 4 over x plus 5. And given fgx is equal to 0, so 2 minus 4 over x plus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, then move over to the other side, it will be minus 2. So cancel, move the square root, move the root to the other side, or simply square both sides, that would be 4. Okay, then I continue my working over here. 4 over x, move the 5 over to the other side, that would be 4 over x is negative 1. Therefore, my x would be negative 4. You know that this x is valid because it is still within the domain of g. Okay, so negative 4 still falls within the domain of g. So you know that this answer is correct. That's how you can earn the 3 marks for these questions. Question number 2. So given that, so this is one of our exponential functions. Okay, f of x equal to 3 exponential negative 4x plus 5 for x is any real number. So state the range of f. So you should remember and recall what is the pattern of the graph. So for 3 exponential negative, okay, 3 exponential negative, the graph is indeed declining like this. Okay, the graph is falling this way. So you know that, okay, the best way, you have to recognize where is the asymptotes. Asymptote, you know that in fact this graph will never touch the asymptote line. Okay? The line where the exponential graph will never touch this line. So the y-intercept should be, okay, when x equal to 0. So that's very obvious. You just substitute x equal to 0 inside, then you should get 3 exponential to the power of 0 plus 5. That should nail you with 8. So the axis is 8. Then how about the asymptotes? As you go very far, okay, as you go very far to the infinity of x, you will know that, or you will realize that, okay, the exponential term will be 0, leaving with only 5 at the end. So this is the line, the asymptote line is actually y is equal to 5. We call it asymptote. Okay, asymptote. So what is the range of f in this case? You know that, okay, for sure your line will never touch the asymptotes. So any functions would be, okay, would be above the asymptote value. So therefore fx would be equal to, would be greater than 5. Okay, you cannot even put an equal sign because the function will never touch the asymptote line. So fx greater than 5 is the correct answer. So let's find f inverse and state its domain. Okay, this is exponential, so you need to remember your logarithm. So same thing like how we normally use to find inverse. So let fx be any alphabet. So I just put it in the form of y. Okay, in the form of x. So we just make x as a subject in this case. So 3 to the power of 4x and y minus 5. Okay, so these 3, just move it down. So e minus 4x, that would be y minus 5 over 3. And don't forget to take ln on both sides. Okay, take ln on both sides. There will be ln e minus 4x ln y minus 5 over 3. So move the 4x down according to the rules of logarithm, you can do that. Minus 4x, and you know that ln exponential should be equal to 1. Remember, this is a tip for you guys. Ln exponential should be 1. Okay, boys and girls. So minus 4x is equal to ln y minus 5 over 3. So take the negative 4. Okay, move it down. So that will be negative 1 over 4 ln y minus 5 over 3. ln y minus 5 over 3. So last but not least, change the x back to the inverse f. Okay, f inverse would be equal to minus 1 over 4 ln or ln x minus 5 over 3. Okay, that should be the correct answer for these questions. Okay, so you might as well leave your answer like this, or you can just simply apply a rules of logarithm, make it ln bracket x minus 5 minus by ln 3. Okay, based on the rules of division. But this answer is good enough. But are we done yet? Of course no. We have to state its domain. So for this case, just remember what I said earlier. Okay, the range of f will be the domain of inverse. So in this case, we should write, okay, the domain of the inverse should be x greater than 5. Okay, just change this f to x and your job is done. Okay, because of what? Because why? The range of function should be equal to the domain of the inverse. That is all you need in order to score this 4 marks. So it is given that g of x is equal to x squared plus 5, h of x is ln x. So solve another composite functions. H of gx is equal to 2. So h of gx, whatever you have right here, x squared plus 5 is equivalent to whatever you put inside h, ln. So change the x to x squared plus 5. And given that the composite function of h of gx is 2, so you're required to solve this equation. So how do you solve this equation? Remember, when you move ln or natural log to the another side, it will become x squared plus 5 is equal to exponential of e squared. So move the plus 5 to the other side, e squared minus 5. Okay, make a square root, e squared minus 5. Okay, so in overall, this one should be, just punch your calculator. You can either leave your answer like this. Okay, sometimes you may be required to leave your answer like this if they mention that, oh, you should leave your answer in exact form. But if it's not required, you can just simply round off your answer to 1.55. Okay, this should be the correct answer. So that's how you can fully earn the 3 marks for these questions. Okay, hold on, let me... So diagram A to D shows 4 different graphs. In each scenario, whole graph is shown and the scales of the 2 axes are the same. So the first one, let's have a look at the questions. So you may be required to put more than one tick in any row or columns. So first, not a function. So how do you guys determine which graph is not a function? So what you need to do basically is to just draw a vertical line, okay, at any point of the curve. Okay, I mean any point of the curve, and then make sure that they only intersect the curve once. Okay, if it's intersect for more than one point, it shows that the graph is not a function. So for instance, B is clearly intersecting for more than one point. Okay, so this is a sign to show that this is not a function. So how about a circle? A circle, a quarter circle. So it shows that it is still a function. Okay, same goes for this. Doesn't matter when you put the vertical line at anywhere. Okay, it shows that it is still a function regardless. Alright, and so not a function, it's very clear that the option is B. How about one-to-one functions? So remember one-to-one functions, 1x value, 1 input, one input, one output. Okay, one input, one output. That's all you need to know. So you just put, okay, to check whether it's a one-to-one functions or many-to-one functions, all you need to do this time is to draw a vertical line. Okay, so if this one intersects for more than 2 points, okay, as you can see, okay, this is clearly one. So sorry, many x. Okay, 1y. So this is many to one. Okay, this is clear. A is clearly a many to one functions. You might as well ignore B because B is not a functions. So C, okay, for every x, okay, you get a different y. For every x, you get a different y. Same goes for D. For every x, you will get a different y. So we can conclude that C and D is a one-to-one functions. So a function that has its own inverse. So this question might be a bit confusing, okay, but it's basically just saying that which function, okay, which function looks like its own inverse. So when you look at C, okay, you can just basically assume that, oh, this is 1 0, okay, this is 0 1. Okay, this is basically the radius, so it doesn't matter. So what happened if you find the inverse? So you just switch the value and then 1 0. So when you replot this, replot the inverse look exactly the same as the functions. So this C has the function of its own. A function with no inverse. Okay, this applies to many to one function or one to many functions. Okay, so the only available options here is our many to one function, that is A. Okay, so okay, this question type is asking for the range of function f. So they give you two different functions for any real number. For x is any real number. So state the range of f. So given that f of x is x squared plus 3. Okay, so by all means you should know that this is a smiley face. Okay, this is a smiley face and the minimum point should be 0 and 3. So what is the range? So for any value, okay, any value of the functions will be definitely greater than its minimum point. So f must be greater than, okay, or equal to 3. Okay, greater than or equal to 3. So that is the range of f. How to solve the composite functions of f gx equal to 4? So f gx, you definitely need to put gx inside f. So that would be 4x minus 1 square plus 3. Okay, this function is equal to 4, but don't expand yet because you are going to get into trouble later on if you expand. So you might as well just solve for this. Move the 3 over to the other side. Okay, so 4 minus 3, that will be 1. Okay, move over, you will get a square root. So class, remember, when you put square root, you should always put plus and minus. Okay, put the plus and minus sign in front. So 4x minus 1 will be 1, or 4x minus 1 is negative 1. Move this over to the other side. 1 plus 1 will be 2. 4x, negative 1 plus 1. 4x is equal to 0. So x equal to 2 divided by 4. X equal to 0. So you will have what? 1 over 2. So you have two answers. Okay? In order to get 2 marks, you must show 2 answers. So please don't forget the key where you have to put plus and minus in front of the square root. So this is what it did. Okay, hold on, let me adjust the screen. Alright, the function h is such that h of x is equal to 2x plus 1 divided x minus 4 for any real number. So basically they already have given us the domain. Okay, so our job is to find h inverse x and state the range. So without doing anything, you already can tell that, oh, the domain of function f, okay, must be equivalent to the range of inverse. So this is the first 3 marks that you can get directly. So, but remember when you write range, right, you should write it in the form of f inverse is the element of all real number, and then f inverse is not equal to 4. So by just writing that both down, you should be able to get yourself the marks for range. Okay, next one, just find h inverse. Same thing. I think all of you are very familiar with range. So let hx be, what would it be? Let it be y. Y is equal to 2x plus 1, x minus 4. Then you make x as a subject, but be careful. Okay, when you are doing, especially when you are doing factorizations, move this one over. X minus 4, 2x plus 1. Okay, xy, 4y, 2x plus 1. Make x as a subject. Group the x like term together. xy minus 2x. Okay, 4y plus 1. Right, continue. X is equal to y minus 2, 4y plus 1. Move this one down. 4y plus 1, y minus 2. Therefore, the inverse of hx should be 4x plus 1, x minus 2. Okay, that should be your inverse of h. So this one should be worth 4 marks along with the range. So the final questions will be find h square x. So remember to give your answer in the simplest form, meaning you have to keep it simple at the end. Alright, so h square x, just a tip, this is another composite functions saying that h is inserted into another function of h. So what you need to do is to put h inside another h. So h 2x plus 1, x minus 4. So this might look very complicated, and then it might look a bit overwhelming, but just keep in mind we always have our own ways of solving this. So I wouldn't recommend my students to do this. Okay, fractions on top of other fractions, it's bound to make mistakes. So you might as well just consider doing this. Okay, writing it in this way. So like this is much friendlier, and the chances of making mistakes was also lower. Just put a bracket there and divide it by 2x plus 1, x minus 4, close bracket, minus 4, close bracket. Okay, so move the 2, expand the 2 inside, it becomes 4x plus 2, x minus 4 plus 1, divided by 2x plus 1, x minus 4 minus 4. Okay, next we just need to solve for this, group the fraction up together. So what do we do? Okay, 1 multiply by x minus 4, multiply by x minus 4, put a bracket to make it simple. 4 over 1 multiply by bracket x minus 4, x minus 4. Okay, keep it simple and short. That will be 4x plus 2, okay, plus x minus 4. Now, since they have the same denominator, you can group them together. So x minus 4, close, divided by 2x plus 1 minus 4x plus 16 over, okay, x minus 4. Okay, so by doing all this, so allow me to move my working slightly to the other side. Hold on. Oopsie. Just let me move all this to the other side so that we can use some space. Okay, further simplify that. So combine the like terms, 4x and 5 and x, that will be 5x. Okay, 2 minus 4, that will be minus 2, x minus 4, divided by minus 4x and 2x, that will be negative 2x. Okay, 16 plus 1, 17. Okay, x minus 4. So I don't have enough space. Change this divide to multiply. So remember, this is just a primary math. When you change divide to multiply, you have to switch the positions. So x minus 4 will be on top, and minus 2x plus 17 will be at the bottom. So this one and this one, this term and this term, they should be cancel out each other. So last but not least, your final answer should be just 5x minus 2, 17 minus 2x. Okay, this is the simplified version of your answer. So don't get overwhelmed by stacking fractions on top of fractions. Just keep it simple. Okay, fractions you can replace with divide. Okay, please remember that. So make your life easier, solve it, minimize the mistake, and always do remember, keep your answer in the simplest form. Okay.